Southeast Asia, mid-20th century, Vietnam divided. Ho Chi Minh led Communist North Vietnam. South Vietnam struggled to remain free. America was slowly drawn into the conflict. Loving this history? Hit like and follow. France had colonized Vietnam for decades. Ho Chi Minh's forces defeated the French. The 1954 Geneva Accords split Vietnam in two. North Vietnam was communist under Ho Chi Minh. South Vietnam was backed by the United States. Ngo Dinh Diem led South Vietnam's government. The Viet Cong guerrillas fought in the south. They melted into villages and jungles. President Eisenhower sent military advisors to help. President Kennedy increased the number of advisors. By 1963, over 16,000 Americans were there. Kennedy was assassinated in November 1963. Lyndon Johnson inherited a deteriorating war. The Gulf of Tonkin incident changed everything. North Vietnamese boats allegedly attacked U.S. ships. Congress gave Johnson unlimited war powers. American combat troops arrived in March 1965. Marines landed on the beaches of Da Nang. The war was not what they expected. No clear front line, the enemy was everywhere. The jungle swallowed man and machines alike. Helicopters became the symbol of this war. Air cavalry moved troops across impossible terrain. Operation Rolling Thunder bombed North Vietnam. But Hanoi refused to break or surrender. The Ho Chi Minh Trail kept supplies flowing. Through Laos and Cambodia the supplies came. American troops searched for an enemy who vanished. Search and destroy missions swept through villages. Winning hearts and minds proved impossible. Agent Orange stripped jungles of their cover. General Westmoreland measured success in body count. At home, Americans watched the war on TV. The first televised war shocked American living rooms. Protests began on college campuses across America. The Battle of Ia Drang, first major clash. Enjoying this history? Drop a like now. U.S. Air Cavalry met North Vietnam's regulars. 3 days of fierce fighting in the valley. Both sides learned what this war would cost. Draft cards burned across America in protest. Thousands marched on Washington demanding peace. Martin Luther King spoke out against the war. Muhammad Ali refused to be drafted. The war divided families and the nation. On January 30, 1968, the Tet Offensive began. Viet Cong attacked over 100 cities. Even the U.S. Embassy in Saigon was hit. Americans were stunned, the war was not won. Walter Cronkite called it a bloody stalemate. Johnson chose not to seek re-election. Robert Kennedy was assassinated in June 1968. The Democratic Convention erupted in violence. Richard Nixon won the presidency promising peace. Nixon's plan, Vietnamization of the war. South Vietnamese troops would take over fighting. American troop levels began to slowly decline. But the war secretly expanded into Cambodia. Students at Kent State protested the expansion. Four students were shot by the National Guard. America was tearing itself apart over Vietnam. The My Lai massacre was finally revealed. American soldiers had killed civilians in a village. The nation reeled in horror and shame. The Pentagon Papers exposed government lies. Daniel Ellsberg leaked the classified study. Public trust in the government collapsed. Peace talks in Paris dragged on for years. Nixon won re-election in 1972 by a landslide. Operation Linebacker 2, massive bombing of Hanoi. A ceasefire was reached on January 27, 1973. The last American combat troops left Vietnam. But the war between North and South continued. Loving this saga? Smash like and follow. Congress cut off funding for South Vietnam. The South Vietnamese army began to collapse. North Vietnamese forces advanced rapidly southward. City after city fell to the north. President Thieu fled the country in April 1975. North Vietnamese forces surrounded Saigon. April 29, 1975, Operation Frequent Wind began. U.S. helicopters evacuated Americans from Saigon rooftops. Desperate South Vietnamese clung to the last helicopters. The U.S. Embassy was overrun and abandoned. On April 30, 1975, Saigon fell. A North Vietnamese tank crashed through the gates. The Vietnam War was finally over. North and South Vietnam were reunified as one. Saigon was renamed Ho Chi Minh City. The human cost was staggering beyond measure. Over 58,000 Americans were killed. Over 3 million Vietnamese died in the war. Thousands more were missing in action forever. Veterans returned home to a divided nation. Many faced anger, silence, or indifference at home. PTSD and invisible wounds scarred a generation. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial was dedicated in 1982. Maya Lin's black granite wall held every name. Families traced the names of their fallen loved ones. The wall became a place of national healing. Vietnam and America eventually normalized relations. In 1995, diplomatic ties were finally restored. Veterans returned to walk on Vietnamese soil. War photographers captured images that changed history. Their pictures turned public opinion against the war. The war produced iconic music, film, and art. It tested democracy under the most extreme pressure. Vietnam veterans finally received their long-overdue honor. The draft ended, America built an all-volunteer force. The lessons of Vietnam reshaped military doctrine. Enjoying this Vietnam story? Hit like now. Never fight without a clear goal or exit. Agent Orange's legacy lingered in veterans' health. Birth defects and illness haunted those exposed. The Vietnamese people rebuilt their shattered nation. From ruins, a new Vietnam slowly emerged. Today Vietnam is a growing, vibrant nation. American tourists now walk streets once torn by war. The Cu Chi tunnels are a museum today. Where soldiers fought, peace and life now reign. Nick Ut's Napalm Girl became a symbol forever. Eddie Adams's photo of an execution shocked millions. These images changed how the world saw war. The War Powers Act limited presidential power. Apocalypse Now on Platoon told its story. Songs of protest echoed across a generation. Fortunate Son and Give Peace a Chance endured. The war that America could not win changed America. It proved the limits of military power. Public opinion could end a war, Vietnam proved it. 58,000 names carved in black granite. Families still come to touch and to remember. The wall reflects your face as you read. They were young. They went. They gave all. Vietnam's echo still shapes American foreign policy. America emerged from Vietnam forever and deeply changed. A nation that looked at itself and questioned. The cost was real. The debate never ended. Their sacrifice was real, whatever the history says. The Vietnam War's legacy lives in every veteran. It lives in the names on the wall. It lives in a Vietnam rebuilt and at peace. The greatest lesson, the true cost of war.